First World War started on July 28, 1914, and ended on November 11, 1918. After First World War, Germany faced a very challenging period. The Treaty of Versailles was signed in 1919, which imposed heavy penalties on Germany, including territorial losses, disarmament, and war guilt. This treaty deeply angered the German population, creating a strong sense of injustice and humiliation. Germany got a new government called as Weimar Republic, but it had a tough job as there were many problems, such as political chaos and economic problem. Germany also faced hyperinflation in early 1920s. Adolf Hitler had a strong and radical feeling about the aftermath of First World War. He thought the Treaty of Versailles was unfair to Germany. He also believed that Weimar Republic was weak and corrupt. At the time of First World War, Hitler served as a soldier in the German army. After the First World War, a party named German Workers' Party was formed on January 5, 1919. Adolf Hitler joined this party in September 1919. He quickly rose through the ranks, becoming the party's leading spokesperson. Becoming one of its most popular speaker, he was made the party leader after he threatened to otherwise leave. In 1920, the German Workers' Party renamed itself to National Socialist German Workers' Party, commonly known as Nazi Party. In 1923, Hitler and his supporters attempted a coup in Bavaria. This event was later called the Beer Hall Putsch. Hitler and the Nazi Party, along with some prominent figure like Ernst Röhm and General Erich Ludendorff, planned to seize control of Bavarian government. They believed that once in power in Bavaria, they could march on Berlin to take control of national government. Hitler and his supporters marched into the beer hall where a meeting of prominent politicians, including Bavarian State Commissioner, was taking place. Hitler interrupted the meeting and declared a national revolution. The coup attempt did not gain widespread support, and the authorities quickly responded. The following day, on November 9th, the coup was suppressed by the police, and Hitler and his associates were arrested. Adolf Hitler was arrested and subsequently put on trial for high treason. During his trial, Hitler used his courtroom as a platform to gain attention and promote his political ideas. Hitler was sentenced to 5 years in prison, but he only served 8 months. He spent this time in writing autobiography. Although the coup was unsuccessful, the Beer Hall Putsch marked a significant step in Hitler's political career. It laid the groundwork for Nazi Party's later rise to power. From then on, the Nazis would stick to laws and try to gain power by means of election. They benefited from the economic crisis that began by the end of 1920s. The Nazis used the crisis to condemn the government and Versailles Peace Treaty. Their strategy was effective. In the 1928 election, the party gained 0.8 million votes, but in 1930, the number had increased to 6.4 million. In the July 1932 election, the Nazis became largest party in the German parliament, though they did not have an outright majority. Following the July 1932 election, President Paul von Hindenburg appointed Franz von Papen as Chancellor. However, Papen struggled to maintain a stable government. He dissolved the German parliament and called for another election in November 1932, which reduced Nazi Party's representation. As a result of 1932 election, Papen was forced to resign, and Kurt von Schleicher became Chancellor. Schleicher tried to weaken the Nazi Party and sought to build a coalition without them. In January 1933, conservative politicians, including former Chancellor Papen and influential businessman, convinced President to appoint Hitler as Chancellor. they believed they could control Hitler and use him for their own political purposes. On January 30th, 1933, President Paul von Hindenburg appointed Hitler as Chancellor. This move was supposed to be the part of conservative and authoritarian coalition, with Hitler serving as figurehead. However, it ultimately paved the way for Hitler's consolidation of power. Hitler's appointment as Chancellor marked the beginning of his rise to dictatorship. After becoming Chancellor, Hitler introduced Enabling Act in German Parliament. The Enabling Act was introduced by Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party to address the economic and political crisis in Germany after Hitler's appointment as Chancellor in January 1933. The act was passed by the Parliament with the necessary two-thirds majority vote. The Enabling Act gave the government authority to enact laws without Parliament's approval for 4 years. The Enabling Act marked the end of democratic governance in Germany. On August 2, 1934, President Paul von Hindenburg died. With Hindenburg's death, Hitler combined the roles of president and chancellor, effectively making him both head of state and head of government. By merging the positions of president and chancellor, eliminating political oppositions and undermining democratic institutions, Hitler solidified his dictatorship and became the absolute ruler of Nazi Germany.